This is big breaking news. Deadly situations are happening right now in New York City. Parts of the city have been overwhelmed. People are stranded and stuck in their homes and even in their apartment buildings. And some people in basements have died. The situation in NYC, this shouldn't even be happening, but it's setting 100-year records there as well too. So let's get into all the details. You guys can see this is what's going on right now in New York City. A deadly flooding storm has hit. Multiple people have sadly passed away, and just look at some of these images coming out of New York right now. This is some of the subway systems being flooded. It says Metropolitan Avenue there in the background, and you can see the subways are filling up. It says at least 2 people have passed away after their basements flooded during this event. You can see 1.8 inches of rain fell in Central Park, breaking the previous record of 1.6 inches over 100 years ago. And it says the rain poured into subway stations. So pretty bad what's going on here, and kind of incredible that they don't have better drainage systems. All right, that's something that I was surprised about seeing this, is that I would think they would have gutters and sewer systems. I know they do, but they need to be able to handle this capacity to handle rainwater. All right, so 100-year floods breaking their record, and sadly 2 people have been found in their basements during this flood. This has been happening over the past 48 hours. This rain, you can see 2 people have passed away in flooded basements on October 30th after heavy rainfall in parts of New York City inundated streets and caused transit delays, authorities said. Firefighters responded to a 911 call reporting a man who was trapped in a flooded basement in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, shortly before 4:25 Eastern Time. The New York Police Department told USA Today. Divers from the fire department recovered the body of a 39-year-old woman who was transported to a local hospital. The man was later pronounced dead at the hospital, police said, and his identity was not released pending family notification. All right, so sad situation what's going on here. It says they had another call at 4:44 p.m. and there was a man in the Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan. After arriving at the scene, witnesses told officers that the 43-year-old man had been found unconscious inside a flooded boiler room in the basement. So this happened pretty quick. All right, this was a flash flood. It says emergency medical services pronounced the man dead at the scene, and he was identified as Juan Carlos Montoya Hernandez, according to police. So these happened during the flash flooding warnings that went into effect for Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and parts of Manhattan. The National Weather Service said, quote, a quick-moving frontal system brought moderate to heavy rain, gusty winds, and minor coastal flooding to the area on October 30th. The Weather Service noted that the rain and wind would be consistent into the evening of October 30th before tapering off later into the night. They range from 20 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour with gusts up to 50 miles per hour, and were continuing into October 31st yesterday. It says here, according to the NYC Emergency Management, the Weather Service reported that 1.8 inches of rain fell in Central Park on October 30th, breaking the previous record of 1.64 inches set in 1917. They also reported that 1.97 inches of rain fell at LaGuardia Airport, which would break the record of 1.18 inches set in 1955. Right, so pretty significant, almost doubling the record for LaGuardia Airport, and breaking the record in Central Park as well too. Right, over 100 years. It's been 108 years or so for the Central Park record, and it's been 70 years for the other one. So 2 major records broken from this flooding. There's also problems at the airports as well too. They had to shut down from the rain, and they've been shut down too from these staffing shortages. And you can see some more pictures of the flooding in New York right now. All right, you can see pretty bad. All right, so you can see how people could get stuck underneath in their basements because the water floods in quickly, and then people in their apartments too can't really leave, a lot of them, right? They're kind of stuck here unless they just walk through the water, which they could do, but it's not practical, and a lot of these businesses have been destroyed and shut down and could take, months to recover, and some of them might not ever recover because the damages are just going to be too high from the flooding and the water. So this could happen anywhere, right? The fact it's happening in NYC is kind of crazy, and I think some of it is due to poor management in some of these neighborhoods where they're not keeping the sewer systems and gutter systems up to date and cleared, right? That's a big part of it, is they have to clear these systems out every year, and it probably hasn't been done in a long time. They're probably not staying on top of it. It's one of the richest cities in the world, and then it has this flooding like this, right? So there's also airports being shut down as well too in NYC due to staffing shortages and the weather. You can see here it says all airports, or NYC airports, all face restrictions as weather and FAA staffing shortages during shutdown leave flyers frustrated. New York's JFK Airport was under a ground stop for several hours on Friday. It says here that New York City's 3 major airports are under traffic restrictions from the Federal Aviation Administration as staffing shortages amid the ongoing government shutdown impact air travel. JFK International Airport was under a ground stop until 7:30 Friday due to staffing shortages, New York City Emergency Management said. The airport is also on a ground delay through early Saturday morning due to high winds and staffing. New York could see strong winds with gusts up to 50 miles per hour on Friday, the agency warned. So this is going on nationwide too. There's been over 10,000 delays and cancellations that have happened, right? 10,000. And this is really starting to add up and cause significant delays and problems with air travel, and even things like deliveries and mail are going to soon be affected by this, and supply chains as well too, right? Most of the supply chain is done through ports and ships, large shipping containers, but some of it is done through planes as well too. So we could see delays in that, right? Companies like, FedEx, UPS, even Amazon have their own entire fleet systems that they use to keep package delivery going. And they're even affected by this too because they use the same airports, right? Maybe if they built their own private airport, then they could keep the deliveries going, but they use the same airports that everyone else uses, so they're even affected by this too. And a lot of shipments are going to be at least slowed down as this continues because the airports are affected, especially any type of quick deliveries like overnight deliveries or 2-day deliveries, especially over long distances, are definitely going to be affected by this. Right? It also affects international travel and trade and things like that. All right, so this is going to spread, both of these things, and you should be prepared. So thank you guys. Hope you guys are stocked up. Hope you guys are ready to go. Who knows what's going to happen, and who knows how long this shutdown is going to continue. But I've seen reps from Congress say they've heard talks of it continuing past Thanksgiving, so maybe a whole nother month. And at that point, the airline system is going to be in big trouble, right? So maybe they can pass some type of funding to just fund certain sectors to keep things going. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but I will keep you guys updated. I will keep you guys posted and make sure you're prepared. So Thank you guys. I hope you have big blessings for your life and your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.